I'm gonna get you, gonna make you fall in love with me, you want more. Yeah, but you never had it better way I do it all. I'm gonna get you, gonna make you fall in love with me, you want more. Yeah, but you never had it better way I do it all.
All right, hello and welcome to Concord University Esports. I am your host, Feral Phantom, joined by Azure Melody today for Rocket League Week 4.
We're just very excited to go ahead, get right into the game. I believe we're starting out just immediately.
Yes. Going in, we can see Helix getting a goal already. That was a wonderful start, as we can see that Cleveland State already has 3 on us.
No, it was backwards. I'm sorry, we've missed, 45 seconds and there's 3 goals?
That's an insane start off. We'll be going into this 4th match as we see that we get the pickup in the beginning, but Lobo is not going to allow us to hold that for very long. As we get knocked over to Concord side, but we see Samas pulling in with a nice guard. Helix staying in front of the goal just to be safe. He's rushing in for this ball.
It looks like Kip has the ball, trying to keep it around center, over on to the Cleveland side. We're looking for something here. Crispy has the ball, is trying to get the reset, but goes for a fake out instead. Samas is there, tries to get off the back, but it's not going to find it. Crispy manages to get another shot, but it's not going to go fully in, but we're still keeping the aggression up on the Cleveland State side.
See Samas missing a hit right there as they managed to score right above them almost. Helix is keeping eye on this ball. He's not letting it out of his sight as he's trying to keep more center ground between both teams.
Yes, and we see it is. Well, I mean, we've just continued to keep this all the way over here. Concord is playing very aggressive this game. It looks like they are absolutely in the zone, and they are playing phenomenal. This is the ideal Concord that we want to see. Is this aggression, this great play, and just continuing to hold full control over the ball. As I don't think it's been on Concord's side for more than a couple seconds this entire match.
We have Helix to thank for that, as Lobo and Orb have been trying to team up and keep a good guard on their side for it. We see Crispy getting a lineup. Oh, Samas scores it in for 4 points on Concord Esports. We're barely 2 minutes into this, 3 minutes into this game, and it's going wonderfully for Concord's side.
Concord is up 4-0, and this is game number 1. These teams still have yet to fully feel each other out, so it's not entirely over for Cleveland State, but good grief, Concord is cementing right off of the bat. You cannot play easy or we will absolutely dominate, as we're already up 4. Have it on your side, and we're going to try and find the 5th to get a nice early 5-0.
See Lobo lining up, but Helix is not allowing that to slide. Orb is trying to keep the pressure on Concord at this very moment, but it's not looking like it's working out very much as Helix hits the block.
Wow, and it just goes right in there. Nobody is there, and Helix just bumps it ever so slightly in. It looks like Cleveland State just had no boost at all, as Lobo tries to find it and is not going to have anything, and Concord starts out. We are halfway through the first game, 5-0.
That is great from Helix to start off. It has seemed to be a very dominated area from him, especially this time around. See, Lobo and Orb, they managed to get their first goal of the game. They have quite the mountain to climb up to catch anywhere close to 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, even though there was just there is a shot here, we still see Concord members were close to being able to block it. And again, this is just a dent in the iceberg for what they have to go up against in order to simply even it out.
See, Cleveland managed to get the knockoff right there, but Samas is getting close to a goal, almost lined up for Helix, but they're playing the long approach, it seems. Helix is keeping it very corner focused right here as Crispy knocks it across the field. Will Helix and Samas be able to line it up? Does not seem quite yet, as we see Sip is waiting the long game himself, keeping it back into center ground here.
Right on the center, but Helix is not going to keep it there for long on Cleveland State side, but it seems like the Cleveland State team is going to send it right over onto the Concord side, and Concord having to play a little bit on the back end at the moment, but they've been playing phenomenal throughout this entire match, so they are not stressing at all as they get it right back into the center. They find the reads that they're looking for, as you see Helix take it right out of Kip's hands, and Samas almost gets the goal in, but Lobo has just enough boost to get it in. To save it.
You see Crispy saving his own goal twice in a row.
Whoa, back to back saves, and we are keeping it over on the Cleveland side.
We see Crispy and Helix, they managed to carry it back into center field as Crispy and Samas are lining up the corner. They are trying to get it off their side as best as they can. Orb is keeping a good defense with Lobo, but Samas hitting out of the air, making sure his goal is always safe.
Wow, what a save all the way from down there. Felix does get demoed, so we are down a person at the moment, but it's still on the Cleveland State side. Helix is back up and is going to get demoed immediately. I mean, bro got out of the spawn gate and was told to be bent back. Samas keeping this aggression. It's back on the Cleveland State side. And just, again, it looks like they're having to go for demos, just demo after demo. But with 30 seconds left on the clock and 4 goals required, even if they find the goal here, Lobo managing to even it up just ever so slightly, it's still going to take a lot. They have to get 3 goals in the span of 30 seconds.
While catching Concord off in that last goal right there, they are going to have to lock in for this last 30 seconds. They're trying to play everything they can to get this upper hand on Concord.
And Concord is continuing to not let them, as it's on the Cleveland State side. And we see yet again, Cleveland State is just trying to go for demos, but I don't know if it'll be quick enough, as even with the demos, it's on Concord's side. I'm pretty sure 10 seconds left on the clock. It's nigh impossible for Cleveland State to get this. Concord doesn't have to do too much of anything at the moment, but Samas is not going to let that happen anyways, sacrifices himself in order to get the save and end it 5-2 for the first game. Even if they get this goal in there, there is no chance of coming back. Concord taking it in with a very solid first game.
And there we go. Concord has officially won that first round. This is a very strong start off for week 4 of NECC. I was amazed by the amount of coordination they were having with each other. They were keeping a consistent pace that was just keeping Cleveland off their toes.
Yes, I mean, Concord, they came into the gates very strong. They understood their assignment. And whenever they got 5 goals back to back, they realized we can play it a little bit more relaxed. Because that's a big thing, especially with how these games work, is you would expect that you just have to play perfect all the time. And it's not necessarily the case. As the Concord team, they are not sitting there full 100% all the time. You have to conserve stamina. You have to be able to sit there and say, okay, we don't have to go as aggressive here in order to save for these later rounds. Because it very well can be a very tense game 6 situation where you're nice, like neck and neck, and you need that stamina for that moment.
To the next round here, we have Samas getting off a strong start of keeping it corner field, as we see Crispy knocking it back over to Cleveland's side.
Concord has the ball, is going to toss it up in the air, trying to look for some sort of team play, but it looks like Cleveland State will knock it up in the air. Doesn't matter. Helix is here to continue to keep this pressure on. Crispy is there. I mean, save after save here, but Concord's not letting the ball go too far into their own side.
It just seems they didn't have enough energy as Helix circles around the field. He is keeping the force on this ball as he is trying to line up for, I believe, Crispy at the moment. And Samas almost knocks it in.
Looking for the steal, but not going to find it. It's back on the Concord side. Samas does get a demo, but it'll cost as Crispy goes out as well. Helix has the ball all the way over on the Cleveland side. Somebody gets right back in. I believe it was Kip there. Or no, Kip, I apologize. And they're just going to tend to take it onto the Concord side. But Concord is there, and it's going to go right back, just tossing it back and forth as this team, they're just going neck and neck at the moment.
We have Samas getting a nice little view of the entire arena as Lobo and Kip have seemed to have kept a real hold on Helix this time around. They saw he was the MVP of last round, and they are not allowing that to happen again.
Trying to just keep any sort of momentum that they can find, as no goals have been scored, and we're almost 2 minutes in. Orb has the ball and is going to take it onto the Concord side, not finding a lot off of it, as Concord is there ready to defend, and Samas taking it right out of Orb's hands again. Crispy has the ball, had a little bit of boost to play around with, but not enough to get a full goal, as we need just a little bit more boost in order to keep that up.
We have Kip right there and Orb keeping a nice hold as Crispy rushes in to get the ball out of their hands, getting a nice demo on both members, splitting up the team a lot and leaving Lobo all by himself.
Crispy has the ball and is going to send it right over to Helix. They definitely have enough boost to get that, but Crispy is still here. It looks like Orb will send it onto the Concord side of Helix, all the way over there, ready to send it right back. No matter how many times it goes between sides, it looks like the majority of the time it is spent on the Cleveland State side.
We have Samas saving the ball as, unfortunately, Kip does get demoed again. Orb is on Crispy's butt here as he is circling around and keeping it and conserving as much energy as he can, getting another demo and saving the goal just enough, but Lobo manages to score in the first goal of this game.
Wow, first goal, and it's over halfway in as we see the ball go right in. I mean, there was a lot of play there. It was very back and forth, but it is 1-0. It's very, very close as Concord will. It does not take a lot. Good grief, I'm just going to stumble over every single word. But it's not going to take a lot for Concord to come back into this, especially after how they were playing the last game.
We have Lobo keeping a nice guard on Helix with Orb once again. It seems those two are really tagging on him as Samas comes in for some tag team support.
Back over onto the Concord side. Lobo carrying it there and is looking for a reset, but goes for a fake out. Kip is there, but Crispy just going to take it, try to juggle it just a little bit, and Samas sends it over onto Cleveland's side.
Kip managing to catch the ball and trying to conserve his energy as Helix flies across the map to knock it out of their hands.
Looks like Crispy will take the ball back on the Cleveland side. Lobo is here, ready to send it right onto the center, where the ball has stayed for the majority of this game. It seems like the ball has mostly been Cleveland State side, as Samas is keeping it there for a goal, or it's been in the middle. Samas he takes it right out of the middle and is just there, has the reset ready, and Kip does not get there in time for the save.
That was a wonderful juggle from them as we got to see a good play of just keeping it out of their hands.
Samas, oh, wow, that was a 50 and a half. It looks like Crispy will have the ball and will send it onto the Cleveland State side. So I guess we technically won the 50. Oh my goodness, bro! Let them think a little bit, as it's right off of the bat. We barely managed to get it on the Cleveland State side, and Crispy and Samas are both there. Crispy gets a demo and also bumps Lobo so that they can't defend. So Samas has a clear and open goal. And we're just going to go on to the next round.
Samas back to back. That was another wonderful goal from him as Kip is now keeping hold of this ball. He is trying to get another aerial, but he cannot compete as Lobo manages to get it. I was very caught off by that, and that's why I was really confused, but it seems that they managed to just barely get it in.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened here. I think Lobo got a bounce in that we weren't quite expecting. It's very interesting. But just evening it up with a minute on the clock, it's still very close. And I 100% believe in our Concord guys. But we will not get the 50. It seems like it'll be on our side. Felix is there this time, ready for it, but doesn't get the bounce that we wanted. And Orb will take a goal.
It seems Cleveland's really locked in this time around as they are managing to score these back-to-back, and it's catching Concord off pretty significantly, I feel.
Concord still has a great chance for this. Again, a minute 6 left on the clock, and they have to get one goal in order to even it up. Most Rocket League games are played in overtime, so if we just get it over into overtime, we still have a great chance of this. With a minute left on the clock and it being on Cleveland's side, Concord is looking for this aggression to come through here and now.
We see the whole team staying pretty close together as they're trying to brute force this way out of Cleveland. Cleveland is keeping such a great hold, and it seems they almost lined up for a goal right there, but keeping it out of their hands.
Crispy with the ball at the moment, trying to toss it up, just juggle it ever so slightly, but goes for a fake instead. Samas is there, sends it up. Crispy trying to look for some opportunity with the ball and finds it, sends it over onto Cleveland's side, trying to toss it up onto the wall. Helix will take it out of Orb's hand, send it over into the corner where Helix was there again waiting. It seems like Helix is looking for these center field plays in order to find a goal. But we have to keep this ball up in the air for as long as possible. We need to get this goal here and now. Kip trying to prevent that for as long as possible, but Crispy manages to find it and keep it in the air. Are we going to get a goal before the timer comes out? It doesn't look like Helix will be able to find it. Very, very close, but not able to find the full hit.
Starting off with this second round, we see that Cleveland is really putting their stakes into this. They're showing us that they're not out yet. They are going to hold as much as they can because, as I was saying earlier, it really seemed like they locked in.
I mean, it was a very quick game 5 from Concord, or 5 points, not game 5. Very quick 5 points out of the gate from Concord. So maybe they weren't expecting as much resilience from Cleveland State as they had seen. So we're going to have to see how this next match plays out. It is 1-1 at the moment. Still plenty more games to be played.
It's a very exciting round around so far. I've been so happy to see with both plays from both teams. I mean, Concord especially, they've been coming in extremely hard, and I feel they're going to push it out even more.
I'm fully believing in the Concord team here. I think that they have this, and that, everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. And I think Concord has this next game. We're going to see, again, that Concord aggression come out of the gate. And I think we're going to see some quick points here. I really don't know how Cleveland State will try and combat this as last time they had it, but it could be a bunch of different ways as Helix wins the 50 and is slightly on Concord's side. Are we missing a player?
I believe so.
There he is. My apologies.
It took a second, but we have all the stats, of course. See, Orb struggling here. Everyone has seemed to have stopped for a second. It seems we're allowing Samas to gain his bearings as.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Excuse us. We'll be right back. Oh, there we are. We're right back. We really were right back.
Like an instant. We see Kip getting a nice hold as Helix and Samas are rushing in for the takeover.
Helix has the ball, looking for the shot, is not going to find it. It's back onto center field, where Cleveland State is all there, ready for it. Crispy sends it right back down onto their side, and it's not going to find too much momentum as Kip will carry it onto the Concord side yet again, just passing the ball back and forth like a game of Pong.
You see Lobo and Kip teaming up, almost getting a goal. Helix is going to keep it out of their palms as long as he can. Orb is on this, but Samas is circling around him. He is going to try and pull it out as they get a good save on Concord's side.
I want to talk about that bump that Samas had, managing to get it out because I believe it was Orb was right there ready for a shot, even with the block, but Samas just bumps it ever so slightly to ruin the ball's trajectory, and it forces Orb to go back and replot their direction.
Speaking of returning the directory here, Orb is managing to get a score in the first 2 minutes.
Early point for Cleveland State here, as it looks like they managed to get it in. Helix was the only one there and ready for it at the time, but it's still very early on into the match. Concord has a great chance to continue to come back from this. It is not over.
Okay, coming into this, we see Crispy got the first hit, but it went onto Concord's side. Orb smacking that right out of Samas's hands as they go over to left side currently. Crispy is holding on it as best as he can as Kip is right on their toes. Helix is trying to pass it over to Samas. They are possibly going to line up as Crispy keeps the bounce in. They get a score. It is now 1-1. That was a wonderful pass from across the court.
Beautiful pass. Crispy here bounces it right off of the wall and manages to sink it in to even it up around 2 minutes into the game. And we're going to see yet another 50 come out. Looks like Concord will barely manage to win it, but Cleveland State has a majority of resources to send it over on the Concord side.
We see Lobo getting a nice little juggle with Orb as Samas and Crispy manage to steal it out of their hands, but Kip is right there for a split second. They manage to get a nice demolition from Crispy onto Orb. It is splitting up the teams greatly.
It looks like Lobo finds the demo on Samas. Helix is going to send it over onto the Cleveland State side, and it looks like we're trying to keep it here for as long as we can. What a bounce from Samas! What a shot! The way he shot this, just very ever so slightly down. Look at this shot. This shot is insane. As he sends it down, Orb does not have the momentum to try and stop it and manages to find it.
Literally threading the needle. I can't think of a better moment from them as we get into the next moving round. We have it going onto Concord side as Kip is staying on top of it. Samas managing to juggle it out. He's going to try and carry it off as Orb counters it and knocks it closer to the goal. We have Lobo and Kip managing to score a second goal and keeping it tied to 2v2.
They're just trying to keep this momentum up for as long as possible as we see them just stay on the Concord side for as long as possible. They continue to just keep this aggression up, and they manage to find a goal off of it to even it out.
Going in, of course, we have getting a goal right off the start. Cleveland is not leaving any room to eat.
I mean, again, it looks like they won the 50, and Lobo was just there, ready for it, sends it over onto the Concord side, and they're going to take the lead. But again, very quick goal and still a lot of time left on the clock. Concord is not in a bad spot at all, as we will win the 50. It's over on the Cleveland State side where Orb is there ready for it, but Samas trying to carry it in, trying to get a sneaky reset, but it looks like Lobo is there ready with the save.
It seemed keeping the team as close together as they can will not work as Orb does what we saw previously, almost getting another goal, but luckily they just didn't bounce it off right.
It seems like Kip bounced it right off of Lobo, so Lobo ended up saving for the Concord team. Moss finds a demo, and Helix is here ready with the ball, not going to find too much as it's sent back right onto the center field, where Crispy is there on the Concord side waiting for it. Kip trying to take the ball right out of Samas's hand, but Samas will just reset, send it into the wall where everybody is, and they're looking for a shot.
It seems getting lined up almost, and Samas scores it in. That is wonderful. With 1:35 left on the clock, we are now back to being tied. I feel this is in great favor of Concord at the moment.
What a great game. What a great couple of games to be seeing. Excuse me, I ain't playing. I can't play Rocket League. But what a bunch of great games to be seeing. This is a great game as both teams are just being super aggressive. It's a very entertaining game as Helix is here on the Cleveland State side, ready to try and keep his momentum up. Moss looks for a reset, but Lobo going to send it back onto the Concord side, where Crispy uses some boost to try and catch up with the ball, but instead will just send it on to the Cleveland State side.
You see Lobo and Kip managing to pass it over back to where Orb is, hoping he can get a goal as he gets a demolition on Helix. They pass it to each other and get another demolition. It is lined up as they can get a fourth goal. This is crazy coming out of Cleveland State Esports.
You can see the team synergy between them. They just managed to pass it back and forth. Everybody was right where they needed to be, and Concord was not able to get to the goal in time. But with a minute left, we're probably going to see an overtime come out here.
I would love to see that, as that's where it shows the best of both sides. Where we have Helix coming in with the hit. There is 1 minute remaining on the clock as we see Crispy passing it over across the entire field, almost getting a goal. It was very unfortunate, but seems Samas is going to try and back him up there. Helix is pushing into this as he's chasing both Lobo and Orb, of course.
It's back on the center field. Pip has the ball and is just trying to toss it in the air. Doesn't seem like a lot of boost is in play. Felix having a little bit to play around with, is able to send it on the Cleveland State side further, but Lobo is there, sends it onto the Concord side where everybody is, and we're just going to continue to see this center field play as both of these teams are playing super aggressive, and Crispy will manage to find in the little bit of a downtime between a goal.
Curveball of the century, I had to say, in the last 25 seconds. That is so unexpected as it just barely clicked in.
We could see an overtime come out here, but I'm sure both teams are not wanting to have even a chance of that happening. They're looking for a quick goal, just try and cement this third game in their favor.
This is where all effort pushes everything on the line. We have Samas juggling it in the air perfectly as Lobo manages to knock out and gives it to Kip as they push. Can they get a goal in the last 10 seconds? And it seems Cleveland will probably be taking this final round.
It's still not over. It looks like Crispy just did not have quite enough boost, or had just a little bit left in order to send it in to the Concord goal, but it's not over yet. We could see an insanely clutch finish here to force an overtime. We're going to have to see, will they manage to get it? He's going to keep it onto the Cleveland State side. Orb has the ball, and it looks like they're just going to send it into the goal. All right, we're going to a great series. We're going to see a nice, even game 4.
Very unexpected right there as a start off, but there is 2 seconds left on the clock. Is there a chance Concord can get one final goal?
Looks like we were going to see a pause, and as we had suspected, Cleveland State will win, take another game. Man, very, very, very close games and very exciting games to see.
I was amazed by a lot of the plays that game. It seems that Cleveland might have noticed Concord's play style and has adapted greatly, as we see that they have managed to pull out 2 wins now over Concord.
I couldn't agree more, lovely, as we're going to try and keep this momentum, or they're going to try to keep this momentum up, for as long as they can. But Concord has the adaptation on their own. They can totally adapt and come back into this. Only game number 3, so it is not over yet. We're just going to have to try and find that little bit of momentum that we had in game 1 and carry forward with that for as long as we can.
I'll ask you, Eternal, what do you think is the best play for Concord's point right here?
It has to be just continuing to find what worked in game 1, which seemed to be that just raw aggression, and maybe that could be the issue as well. Maybe we're trying to go with that raw aggression off of the bat, but we're not managing to find it fully, as the Cleveland State team has adapted to it.
See, Helix pushing into this as Lobo gets a demo after demo. The whole team has been demoed as Crispy manages to come back into this to hit a courtside ball.
Dude, if our whole team got demoed there and then we managed to get a goal, honestly, hats off. That's so impressive. But we're going to see it on the Cleveland State side regardless, and Crispy find a demo on their own. Moss is here trying to get a reset for it, not going to find it. Oh, and Crispy comes in from downtown, but it looks like Pip will just mess with the ball, not going to go fully in. Moss is in center court, ready for it, but just sending it up. I don't think anyone has the boost to play around with it, and we're going to go back onto the Concord side.
Man, that felt like a game of airball because I did not see it touch the ground for a split second. I thought that was pretty crazy as we see Orb and Kip keeping it considerable, but Helix stopping the mid-air as Kip is trying to steal it out of his hand still.
Crispy is here trying to send it off of the wall, but Kip, with the little bit of boost they have left, sends it, keeps it in the corner. Moss goes for a fake out. Helix is here, but Kip will stop it before Helix has any sort of chance to knock it in.
Unfortunately, none of Concord's members were close enough to the goal, so they do not get the goal off right there. As Kip almost knocks it in, Samas and Crispy are keeping it out of their hands as Samas does a nice little air dribble.
Oh, almost carries it right in, but Lobo with little boost manages to come in and save it, but it's still on the Cleveland State side. They don't have a lot of boost, so they're just going to send it onto the center court, where Samas is there ready to send it right back, return to sender, and keep it on the Cleveland State side.
Lobo getting a hit as he is demoed right there. We have Helix and Kip both fighting in the air as Crispy and Orb are fighting as well. It is a lot of 1v1s here.
We are on the Concord side, so we have to play a little careful to not have an accident goal come out here for the Cleveland State side, but we're going to find the momentum to send it on to Cleveland State side. Everybody is looking for boost, and Orb is looking for a shot. Helix will send it right back onto the Cleveland State side, and Samas keeps it in the corner for Crispy to come in with a little bit of boost, trying to play around, tries to go for a reset, not going to find it, and Helix will instead take a demo for their trouble.
It definitely seems that both teams are playing as best they can, but it seems Concord has taken a bit of a defensive approach as they are trying to get the goal in here.
Off of one card to the next, bouncing it back and forth like we're playing tennis. It just keeps going back. But one thing stays the same. It is on Cleveland State's side, and Crispy is looking for the shot, not going to find it. Felix has the ball and is going to just try and keep it. I mean, again, it is staying on Cleveland State's side. The Concord team is here and ready for it, and they're forcing a lot. We saw every single member of Cleveland State had to sit there and defend in the goal, but they managed to find the defense and send it back onto center field, where Concord is there trying to knock it out of the air, but it seems like Lobo will mess with the momentum and force it to go back. But Crispy managing to find it Samas from all the way downtown. You see this. He knocks it up just slightly away from all of the Cleveland State team, and Crispy has the easiest goal of his career.
I was really just about to say they are running down the clock, as most of them were just 0-0 for the entirety of this match, but Concord pulls in with that last second hit.
Felix wins the 50, but will get demoed for it, and Crispy has the ball, looks for a reset, but it looks like Samas will be the one instead to try and take the ball over in the corner, where it looks like Helix will send it all back into the corner. Wow, what a save by Crispy coming in there at the last second to stop the goal.
We see Orb and Lobo once again fighting with Helix as they are trying to keep it out of the way, as Kip manages to get a nice little bump, and Crispy over here knocking it to the left side. Sorry for that. As Samas is keeping on the ball. He's possibly going to try and set it up right here. Crispy misses it, unfortunately, as 1 minute remains on the clock. Samas with a wonderful goal save.
He was there and ready for it. He was waiting, and he found the save, going to keep Concord in with a lead, and it looks like that's just their plan as Helix tries to come back, but it looks like Orb had just initially missed the shot. Helix doesn't get a full save, but is there ready to carry the ball back onto Cleveland's side. And it looks like Samas is here with the same sort of story, where he is there ready, and they're trying to play some mad defense to keep Concord in for this last 30 seconds.
As we said, less than 30 seconds are on the clock as Helix and Samas are trying to deal with this defense that is being held by Cleveland. They're really struggling as it has stayed on Concord's side for a lot of this last minute. As we go down to the last 10 seconds, will Concord be able to keep it out of their hands until they can get a nice goal score?
Crispy is looking to just struggle this in, trying to make it fall on the ground. Helix and them are there ready for it, and we will even it up for game number 4.
That was a wonderful comeback from Concord. I mean, they really stayed more in sync that game than they had previously for the last 3 games.
Couldn't agree more, as we just continued to find, I think we swapped just a little bit of play there, and we tried to play a little bit more defensive, and that's why there weren't that many goals out of just in the entire game. Both teams were focused just ever so slightly more on holding and defending the entire game, and it really saved us throughout that entire game.
I've just been a big fan of the plays from both teams. I mean, we've seen Cleveland, they have a really good stance against Concord throughout this.
Yes, it's still very close. I mean, again, Cleveland could have got a goal there and forced it overtime. It's been very close to overtime situations ever since the first game, but we're going to jump into game number 5 here in just a moment.
I am so excited to see what we have to have in store yet, as there's 4 possible games to be played.
Couldn't agree more, Feral Phantom. And we are back ready for game number 5.
Going into this, we see Orb knocking it onto Concord's side as Crispy is keeping a hold. Samas luckily saving the goal right there and not allowing Cleveland to get a goal within the first 10 seconds.
Knocking it up into the air. We are on the Cleveland State side, and we're trying to look for a little bit of an advantage. Samas has the boost advantage, but is not going to get too much out of it. It's just going to have Lobo send it into the corner where Crispy is there, juggles it right above Lobo's head, and goes for a goal. But Kip uses a bit of boost to keep it out of the goal. Felix keeps it on to the Cleveland State side. Crispy is there, ready for it. The team synergy is immaculate at the moment, is not leaving the Cleveland State side at all. And we're keeping it here, even if it gets sent back to center for a moment. Moss is there. Helix is there, ready for the team up. The team synergy is on max at the moment, as this Concord team is being aggressive for this goal. They want it here and now. Crispy goes for it yet again, and Lobo stops it. I mean, Cleveland State is having to use everything that they can just to stop Concord from having a chance to go.
Concord has fully unleashed their power. They are trying to push their way as hard as they can through this, as the whole team is currently grouped up together. They are bringing it back over to Cleveland's side. Lobo misses that hit. Will Helix be able to pull it back over here? As we can see, they are possibly trying to go for a 3-team tag up as Samas misses, but Helix is keeping a hold on it over Orb as Helix juggles it off the ceiling. Kip manages to get a hit as Samas knocks it out of his hands.
It looks like Cleveland State side is trying to keep it on to Concord for as long as possible. Samas is here just playing the patient game to find the knock that they wanted. Felix sends it over into the corner. Samas, Crispy, everybody is here. Are we going to find a goal? Crispy sends it down, but Orb is there ready for it. Samas has the ball, going to follow up and keep it on the Cleveland State side. Kip trying to send it back, but Samas sends it over onto center field, where I believe that was Helix is there ready for it and is going to keep it here for as long as we can. These team dynamics are in full effect at the moment. Each member is understanding where they need to be, but Samas has just a little bit of boost, is going to have to use it all to stop a possible goal from Cleveland State.
We have Helix bouncing it over Lobo's head again as they get off a demo. I feel that was very needed, as they really have to break up this team. Cleveland has been staying so consistent that it's just not allowed them to score a goal yet.
It looks like it is on to the Concord side, though, and Crispy has the ball, trying to send it into the center field where Kip is, and he's there ready for it. Sends it over, but Helix trying to carry the ball ever so slightly, tries to get it right out from under Lobo, but is not going to find it. Orb will instead carry it on to the Concord side, where Crispy is there to send it back to center field. Seeing a lot of center field play as Cleveland's just trying to keep it there. I mean, it'd rather be there than the Concord side. Oh, what a shot from Samas! Look at this half-court shot. You see Lobo defends the ball, and Samas carries it right in from the center over Orb. Kip does not get there in time, and Lobo is left without any resources to do anything. Samas will carry Concord to having the first point of the game.
I will call it now. That is play of the game right there. That was a beautiful testament to showing how well they can thread the needle.
Crispy is here after Samas has the demo. It's a lot of play here. Oh, what? What was that? Look at this. His ankles are in absolute pieces here. Crispy sends it to Helix and just nowhere at all. You're not getting it. Crispy and Helix, find the goal, and it's 2-0.
My ankles would definitely hurt after that, as we go into 1 minute, 45 seconds are on the clock. Concord now has 2 points over Cleveland. They still have a chance to score at least 1 point, but I feel they're going to use this advantage to just keep it out of their hands and run out the timer.
You see Crispy sending, or I apologize, that was Samas sending it over. It looks like Kip will manage to find the goal. Concord was just a little bit short on resources to try and contest that. We see Kip knocks it in, trying to just whittle away, trying to even it up for an OT situation, but we're not going to let it happen. We have it come in yet again.
Starting with the kickoff, we have Samas holding it on as we see Orb holding it off the ceiling. He is managing to knock it over to Concord's side as Kip is also there with him. They luckily do not score on Concord as Crispy is carrying it off. We have Lobo and Orb, of course, right back on that action as Helix is pushing over Orb. He is flying through the air as Kip knocks it out of his hand, and Lobo's there to continue that carry back onto Concord's side. 1 minute remains on the clock, people, as we have Helix unfortunately dodging the ball and not getting to knock it as Kip equals it out back to 2-2.
Again, just threading the needle there as we see the Cleveland State side finds just a little hole here. Concord doesn't have enough resources, and Samas can't get there in time, so it will even it up 2-2 with a minute left on the clock.
Going into the kickoff once again, we have Crispy and Kip keeping it equal on the ground as Orb is just being ever so dominant. He is pushing it as far as he can into Concord's side as Crispy has to try and save his goal. Samas is there.
Oh, I thought for a minute, I thought he had that defense and I was going to lose my mind, but not managing to fully get it. Just stops it ever so slightly. Kip chips it in. Samas tries to save it there, but is not going to have enough momentum. Cleveland State being up for the first time in this game. Concord still has 40 seconds left on the clock to even it out. Crispy will win the 50, which should help, even though Orb is here ready for the ball.
We have Samas kicking it out of the air and knocking it down as we have 30 seconds left. Helix is preparing to knock it out of Lobo as he hits Lobo, actually, and Samas saves the ball. It is around Concord's goal. They have to play as careful as they can as Orb is juggling it with Lobo. They're trying to get this out of Concord's hands.
Concord will send it back onto the Cleveland State side. We are here. We are going to try and keep here for as long as possible, but Orb will take it right out of our hands, trying to send it down onto the ground away from Concord. We have to get this in here and now. Samas has the ball, carry it over just a little bit. Orb throws off the momentum, and it'll be Lobo who sends it back onto the ground. Cleveland State will come into this with a lead for a possible game point situation.
That was crazy, as it seems that Cleveland, unfortunately, will be staying at a point advantage and match point as well.
But it's not over yet. We still have another game if Cleveland State can find it, or we still have 2 more games if Concord will bring this back. We're going to have to wait and see how this will turn out.
If anything, I know Concord can pull this back. Concord is the GOATs when it comes to Rocket League.
Couldn't agree more. I'm excited to see how they will play this out, as we're going to just jump right into the next game.
We see Helix getting a nice aerial, almost scoring into our own goal as Samas is carrying it up above. Helix is backing up a bit more. He is prepared for this ball to fly anywhere near our goal. As we line it up, will we be able to go? No, unfortunately, as no one else is there with Helix. Kip and Orb managed to get the first goal of the game already.
Crazy for them to be able to get it within the first 30 seconds of the match, but again, it's the first 30 seconds. We don't want to see a goal come out, but even if it does, Concord still has plenty of time to get in and find this evening. Excuse me. Good grief, I just... Oh, Crispy has the ball on Cleveland State side, but Orb will get a demo right off the bat. Helix trying to stall the ball. It looks like everybody is there on Cleveland State side, and we're going to just pass the ball back and forth on their side for as long as we can. Crispy trying to go for a shot, but Orb will send it right up into the corner. It'll bounce right back down.
We can see 4 minutes are left on the clock as Lobo and Orb have it. Samas tried to get a hold right there as Helix knocking it ready, setting it up for a good goal score right here as Samas unfortunately misses. Sorry for that. As we see Kip is keeping good hold on it. We have Samas missing and Lobo scoring in for a final 2-0. That was really unfortunate for Concord's guard right there.
We are only a minute into the game, so it's still not over 4 minutes left to play with on the clock. Concord has this in the bag. They just need those team dynamics that we were talking about earlier.
Okay, we have Kip keeping a nice hold as Helix hitting it out of the air. He is lining up as Orb is not going to allow that to happen. He knocks it just right away as Lobo's there to help him with that. Crispy does not allow it to happen as he keeps it back in with Samas. They're keeping a really consistent hold here as they do not want to allow them to get any more of a point lead on them. We have Helix and Samas keeping it in the air. Air is seeming to be their best hold of any advantage in this entire game. Samas coming in with a nice pound as they are getting it lined up. Helix waiting for it as Kip sees that as an advantage to knock it back on the Concord side. But Samas will not let that happen. He gets the goal, and Concord now has 1 point on the board. If they can get one more, they can keep this at the very least even for the remaining 3 minutes. But I believe Cleveland State will not allow that to happen. They have been unrelenting this game, it feels. I have never seen them so fierce when it comes to this competition as they get already onto Concord's side. Helix and Orb are fighting it out as Samas is keeping a good back guard. He is making sure they cannot score a goal as he saves it in with his energy, knocking it over as Orb misses his hit, and it's only left to Lobo to guard. Lobo manages to save it just barely as Kip is there to back him up.
Concord still has about half the time remaining in order to even this up, and they will. Crispy will just carry it right in to the Cleveland State side. We see Helix with the assist here, bounces it up right for Crispy, and he just carries it in, slides it right in there, and we have evened it up.
Barely just touching it like it's a piece of paper, I feel.
Just ever so slight breeze to tap it in there. Concord has to win this game. It's game point for Cleveland State at the moment, and Lobo understands it, is looking for the demos to try and get a greater lead for this game.
Samas is not allowing anything to happen, and that's a perfect lineup. Unfortunately, Concord does not hit it in, but it seems they're going to circle back around. Crispy and Helix are getting ready as
it's an open goal. It's an open goal as all of Cleveland State is just all over the place trying to stop this ball from stopping or going anywhere. Crispy and Helix are there, and they have a clean shot to get into a lead for the first time in this game.
My goat Helix, he's just coming in. He is pushing that ever-forward ball into the march.
As we see, trying to continue this march on to try and get to a game 6 or 7 situation, we see it come out here. Helix has the ball, and we're keeping it on Cleveland State's side. We have Concord with the ball as it looks like it's going to stop being in Cleveland State's side. I think we cut out there for a minute there. I apologize if that's...
We can see that Samas is keeping a good hold with Helix as they're circling around this corner. This right corner has been their go-to as Kip manages to get a nice turnaround with Lobo.
Samas will send it over onto center field where Helix tries to get a bounce to keep it in center field. What a save by Crispy. Look at him lingering on that wall for as long as possible. Manages to get the save, send it back to center field. But Cleveland State doesn't want it to stay at center field. They're going to force some boost out with a fake, and they're going to try and keep it on Concord's side for as long as possible, though they are running low on boost. So Helix sending it down where Samas is going to save it, keep it into the center field where Crispy doesn't have a lot of boost to play around with, but has to go for a defense here. Helix has the save here, and all of Concord will bump into each other and send it back on the Cleveland State side.
You see Samas here lining it up. 1 minute remains on the clock as Cleveland is not allowing anything to get past them. They really want to equal this out so we can place them overtime. We see Samas is just lining it up for his friends once again. It does not go anywhere, unfortunately, as Helix comes in back. He is going to try and ever forward push this.
It looks like Crispy has the ball, is going to send it. Will we get the reset? No, it looks like Lobo will send it just right out of there. Helix has the ball. Send it into the corner. Helix is going to toss it into the air. Goes for a slight fake, as it looks like Kip uses the last little boost they have in order to send it out of their side. Concord has to find this here and now in order to cement the fact that there will be a Game 7. Lobo following the ball to try and find a little bit of momentum, having to try and just keep it on the Concord side. Helix tries to go for a crazy shot, ever so slightly not going to get it, and Samas will dash in to try and find it. It looks like right now Concord just has to keep this on the ground, and they will have it. Crispy has the ball, send it down. Samas over into the corner. Orb is there, and there it is. Man, what a game for that to be Game 6.
This is match point to match point. It has been an insane climb ever since. Concord was really struggling at first, but they have made a strong comeback and are now even as possible to win this as Cleveland State is.
Yes, and we're going to get into game number 7. This is going to be exciting to be able to have a game 7. I really don't know how this will play out. We're going to have to stay tuned in order to find out. We are back, and we're going to just start out winning the 50. Orb is there, send it over on the Concord side, and we're going to try. Wow, what an early goal! As it looks like most of Concord had a little bit of boost, but we're not able to get there just quite in time as Orb sneaks it right past, or passes it, right to Kip, where Samas and Crispy were just ever so slightly behind.
Seems Cleveland, they've had their fun. They're ready to carry this home. They want to win this so badly. Week 4 is turning out to be an exciting event for both teams. As we see Helix here trying to keep guard, gets bumped out of the way, and Lobo manages to score. This is 2 goals already in the first 10 seconds.
Who bumped Helix? Oh, it was Orb. I was sitting there. I didn't see anybody bump him. And I was like, what in the world happened to Helix? He just bounced back there, which was really weird. But no, Orb will get a bounce. So Cleveland will start the game out with a 2-point lead. But it's right at the beginning of the game. Concord could get another crazy 5-goal streak in a row in order to cement this for a win. It's not over till it's over. And it looks like we're going to try and we're going to see Cleveland State continuing to keep it on the Concord side as long as possible until Crispy says no way, sends it back onto the Cleveland State side.
We have Helix lining up for this as Orb gets the goal. They are now up to 3. That was such an insane courtside pickup.
Lobo just has it here, tosses it in the air, and Orb will just toss it in. Samal's not able to get there in time, leaving Cleveland State 3-0 about a minute in.
Going into the next start off, as we see that unfortunately Cleveland gets off it and gets a demo on Concord. They are down advantage, as it seems Cleveland's really caught them off guard this match.
Concord has the ball here, and they're trying to just carry it into center field, but they're not going to find it. Cleveland State side will continue this until Helix saves it, sends it over to Samas, and they're going to go right past Kip. Orb tries to get something in, but it'll be Lobo who manages to stop Concord's advance.
See Crispy getting a nice hit, but Lobo bouncing it back out. Helix gets stopped by one of Cleveland's members as Samas is just full ramming into this. He is trying to set it up for his team to at least get a goal in. They want to try and at least equal this out to get a demo.
Oh, I really thought the demo would be enough, but Orb was also there, and with the little bit of boost they have left, they managed to save it, but Concord will continue to keep this momentum up. They have the ball here. Crispy is going to try and carry it in, but Lobo will jump up there, smack it out of Crispy's hand. Regardless, Helix will keep the ball onto the Cleveland State goal side, and we're going to try and keep this here for as long as we can.
We have Samas here managing to undercut Lobo as they continue to keep the ball on Cleveland's side. It gets knocked over to Concord, of course, but Samas is there with a lovely goal save.
We're going to send it back onto the Cleveland State side. Lobo will find a demo. Samas looks for a goal. Orb will be there to stop it. Helix has the ball, trying to send it in, but again, Orb is there ready for it. Samas carrying it over just ever so slightly, but Kip will send it right back into the corner.
We have Helix, of course, keeping good guard with Crispy as they manage to get a goal in finally. They are now have 1 point on the board.
We're going to have to get 2 more in order just to even this out, but Concord has started their advance to try and even this game out and come back. A very tense game 7 for Concord at the moment.
You can see starting up once again, we have Crispy getting a nice little hit with Helix support. Unfortunately, gets knocked back onto Concord's side as we get a nice, they get a nice demo, but Helix scores it
all the way from downtown.
Sorry I was really caught off guard. That happened in such a fast manner.
Look at that. It was so quick. I couldn't even tell what was going on at the moment, but Samas sends it all the way over to Helix, who is there ready for the ball, sends it right in, and we're going to see again Concord evening it out. Samas is there ready with the ball and is going to try and keep it.
We see Kip here stealing it out of their hands, but Helix manages to save it back. He's juggling it as much as he can through the air as Lobo is there to guard, of course.
Lobo will carry it up into the air, looking for a teammate to throw it to. It will be Kip until Samas says no and sends it back into the corner.
We have Orb here, keeping a nice guard, and gets demoed instantly as Kip is trying to get it out of Crispy's hands. We have Lobo bouncing it out of Crispy's hands, of course, but we see Samas is coming in for this, but Orb gets it, but unfortunately, Crispy is back. It is going back and forth, back and forth.
It doesn't look like Samas will be able to get there in time, or I apologize, that was Crispy. Samas here tosses it up into the air, and Kip and Orb just have enough momentum to carry this in. Crispy tries to get there in time, but we're not going to have just enough boost. But with 1:45 left on the clock, Concord can bring this to an OT situation.
We see Samas gets the kickoff as we go onto Concord's side, but Orb knocks it back onto his own, allowing Kip to get a good hit in.
Is up in the air at the moment. Cleveland State side has a lot of aggression on it at the moment, but we're not going to find anything too major. Samas sends it into the corner. Helix is here with the ball, following it as Kip tries to carry it ever so slightly. Samas will lose the 50 there as Kip is there, ready for it, sends it over into the corner, where Crispy will just toss it up to Samas.
Samas gets the knockdown as Crispy takes it back into his hands. Orb is preparing for the save, but Lobo comes in out of nowhere and keeps it back into the air as Kip kicks it back out. Samas coming in as well. 1 minute remains on the clock. Concord's going to have to kick it up a notch if they want to tie this out.
Kip has the ball, is going to send it over. Helix manages to find the momentum, keep it in the corner. Samas has a demo here. Are we going to see something major come out? Crispy bounces it off the wall. Helix goes for a fake, but it'll be on the Concord side where Helix will just send it over to Crispy. Crispy has the ball, carrying it in the air a little bit. Lobo will get back in time to find it, but in return, Helix gets a demo on. That's another demo coming out from Concord, so Kip will just have to send it all the way over and on to Concord's side. 30 seconds remaining. Concord needs a goal here and now in order to secure this, and Kip is not going to let it happen. Send it over into the corner where Helix is trying to just bounce it in, but Lobo will send it back on the center field. Helix has the ball here. Samas is here. Are we going to see something come out? Kip will send it over into the corner. Crispy gets the goal. 5 seconds remaining on the clock. This is still very doable for Concord to bring to an OT.
OT is so possible right now, as I'm hoping Concord can pull it out. This is such a stressful, high-tense situation. I can't imagine what they're thinking right now.
Concord, 5 seconds left on the clock. They have to find a quick and early goal. Crispy will send it into the corner. We don't have that much boost. Kip has a lot of boost here. It's going to try and carry it onto the ground. Samas will try and keep it, but Crispy will not get there in time. Man, what a game.
Cleveland will win week 4 of NECC. That was such an exciting, fast-paced game. I couldn't believe half the plays being made.
Couldn't agree more. We'd like to thank everybody who came out, continue to watch. Make sure to follow all of our socials. We got YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Follow all of our socials. Make sure to stay tuned throughout the rest of this week for the other streams. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors and everybody who's continued to support us. And tune in tomorrow for Fortnite Duo builds.
Stay true, bring the passion.
Music is my therapy, dancing is my medicine, lifting every part of me, I'm free from what I'm living